On August 22nd, 2025, the world paused once again to honor lives that shaped our shared human journey. From the rugged mountain trails of America to the corridors of power in Belfast, from boardrooms that built financial empires to classrooms that preserved history, these were people who stood out not through fame alone, but through the quiet strength of purpose. They climbed literal and figurative mountains, left their mark on economies, politics, and scholarship, and in doing so, they reminded us that every life well lived adds to the collective story of humanity. Today, we remember them. We honor the explorers, the builders, the thinkers, and the leaders who carried the torch of curiosity, faith, and perseverance. Before the age of GPS and digital maps, Gene Espy walked into legend one step at a time. In 1951, he became the second person ever to thru-hike the entire Appalachian Trail, a grueling journey of over 2,000 miles through mountains, rivers, and forests from Georgia to Maine. Espy's trek was not about records or fame. It was about discovery of land, of self, of spirit. Armed with a simple pack, faith, and a sense of wonder, he proved that human endurance is powered as much by heart as by muscle. His 1951 journey inspired generations of hikers and adventurers to follow. In a world that often races ahead, Gene Espy reminded us of the sacred act of slowing down and simply walking through life's wild beauty. He was a trailblazer in every sense of the word. When people speak of integrity in finance, the name Raymond A. Mason often rises to the surface. As a founder and longtime leader of Legg Mason, Mason built one of the most respected investment firms in the United States. He believed that wealth creation was not about greed, but about trust, discipline, and service, principles that guided his leadership through decades of economic change. Under his direction, Legg Mason grew from a regional brokerage into a global financial powerhouse, known for its ethical foundation and commitment to client success. But beyond the boardroom, Mason was known for philanthropy, supporting education, the arts, and civic development. He saw wealth as a means to empower others. His life embodied the belief that prosperity should be shared, and that success, when guided by integrity, can uplift entire communities. In the landscape of American democracy, Marlon O. Snow stood out as a man devoted to community and principle. A member of the Utah House of Representatives from 1998 to 2000, Snow represented his constituents with quiet strength and thoughtful conviction. He was known for his pragmatic approach, someone who sought solutions over spotlight, service over status. His colleagues remembered him not just as a politician, but as a listener, a mentor, and a man of faith who believed in civic duty as an act of love. Snow's years in public life were guided by humility and compassion, qualities often missing but deeply needed in leadership. Though his tenure was brief, his impact endured, a reminder that true leadership is measured not by duration, but by dedication. A century of life, and nearly as much of history. Edgar Feuchtwanger lived both as scholar and survivor. Born in Munich in 1924, he was just a child when Adolf Hitler rose to power, and astonishingly, young Edgar lived on the same street as Hitler himself. His early years unfolded in the shadow of tyranny, a living testament to how close history's darkness can come. Escaping Nazi Germany in 1939, Feuchtwanger found refuge in Britain, where he rebuilt his life and devoted it to the study of history, particularly the very forces that had uprooted his childhood. As a respected German-British historian, he became a bridge between cultures once divided by war, reminding future generations that remembrance is not just memory, it is responsibility. His book, Hitler, My Neighbor, offered a haunting, human perspective on one of the darkest chapters in history. By telling his story, he ensured that others might never forget. At 100 years old, Edgar Feuchtwanger left us with the wisdom of a witness and the courage of one who turned trauma into truth. In the complex and often divided world of Northern Irish politics, Martin Smith stood as both a man of conviction and a man of peace. Serving as a member of Parliament, 1982 to 2005, and member of the Legislative Assembly, Smith was a leading figure in the Ulster Unionist Party, representing Belfast South for over 2 decades. But his influence extended beyond politics. He was also a respected Presbyterian minister, known for his steadfast faith and moral clarity. Throughout the troubles and the uneasy peace that followed, Smith's voice carried both the weight of tradition and the hope for reconciliation. He understood that faith and politics, when grounded in compassion, could coexist. That progress comes not from anger, but from understanding. In his later years, he became a moral elder in Northern Irish society, respected across divides for his honesty and quiet leadership. His passing marks the end of an era and the fading of a generation that lived through conflict but never gave up on peace. Today, we honor Gene Espy, Raymond A. Mason, Marlon O. Snow, Edgar Feuchtwanger, and Martin Smith. 5 names, 5 worlds of meaning. A hiker who conquered mountains, a financier who built trust, a statesman who served quietly, a historian who witnessed evil and turned it into education, and a minister who preached unity in a divided land. Their lives remind us that greatness takes many paths, but the destination is the same: legacy, to build, to teach, to guide, to heal. As the sun sets on August 22nd, 2025, their stories join the long thread of human endeavor, proof that even as we lose their voices, their echoes will continue to inspire. Dove, may they rest in peace, their journeys complete, their impact eternal.